Tell me a fact and I'll learn. Tell me the truth and I'll believe. But tell me a story and it will live in my heart forever. Native American proverb. November 29th, 1864 was the day my people, the Cheyennes and the Arapahoes, were massacred by John M. Chivington and his troops. Before this time, there are many events leading up to the massacre. The 1850s brought hard times to the Arapahoes and Cheyennes. The once abundant herds of buffalo and antelope grew more difficult to find as wagon trains and stagecoaches moved across the plains to California. The tribes became dependent on the government annuities, promises, and the Fort Lawrence treaties. The U.S. Senate decided the terms were too generous and cut off their annuities from 50 years to 15. Our chiefs signed with barely even a protest. Game to us became very scarce because it was starting to cool up from the winter time in November. We had to rely on the government for food. Our chiefs went to go meet leading whites in the office. Little Raven, one of our chiefs, made an impassioned speech about peace. After the meeting our chiefs had with men in the office, there was a new policy to use great caution to avoid any fights with us Indians who are peacefully disposed. When our tribe settled in the Sand Creek, we put up American flags with a white flag next to it, showing our peace with the Americans. During this time, when the chiefs were in office with the whites, there were many Indian attacks going on in the area, including in Kansas. There were reports of scalped white men and kidnapped children and women. When Coop, one of the white men in office, wanted to meet up with the chiefs from these attacks, instead of establishing terms for peace, he grilled them about their recent attacks. When Coop sent out a messenger to one of his men, describing what happened in the Indian attacks, this man told Wincoop that there were not enough troops to have war with the tribes. Without any instructions, John M. Chivington sent a lot of troops and himself to come and kill people from my tribe. It was November 29th, 1864. It was very quiet since the men were out hunting for game, and all you can hear is gunshots in the distance. Since our men are out hunting, it leaves little protection, so we have to fend for ourselves. There's many women, children, and old people. I tried to run far away as possible from what I remembered. When I looked back, there were troops cutting off Indians' body parts to get jewelry off. They were trying to get as much jewelry as they can. They were also cutting off private parts as a statue or a trophy. There are only some of us who are survivors. Not many children, actually only one child has survived this massacre. Some people were killing themselves from seeing their family die and they couldn't continue. There are not many survivors left. Sad to say, John M. Chivington and his troops were not charged for hurting my people. There was a 25th anniversary for settlers in Colorado. John M. Chivington was invited and was still known again as a hero.